Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are going to be doing a video on how to whitewash over bare wood. It has been requested several times over. Every time I post a piece that I've done this technique on, I get tons of questions. So I figured, why not just do a quick video and show you? It is not a real difficult process. You don't need a ton of supplies or products to do it, and it comes out just beautiful. It is a really popular look right now to do these more of a whitewash, really light look, but doing it over bare wood still allows you to see that beautiful wood grain. So I'm going to show you how to achieve that look today. All right guys, here's our lineup for today. Here's all you're going to need to create this look. Here is just water. These are my two paints. These are my two mixing cups, empty right now. The paint that I'm choosing and that I use to get this look is Fusion. Now I'm using Fusion's Algonquin, which is a dark kind of taupey brown, and then their Raw Silk, which is a light off-white. Now you can interchange these colors, mix them up, do whatever you want. This is just what I use, and I'm gonna show you the end result today. So how do you go ahead and create a wash? So there's so many different ways to do it, and most of the time I eyeball it, but because I'm doing a video for you guys, eyeballing it doesn't do you any good if you've never done this before. So what I typically do is mix 1 part water to 1 part paint. Now these mixing cups, you can obviously tell I use them a lot. You can get these off of Amazon. I will put the link below, but these actually have 1:1, 1:2. Then over here, they've got it in ounces. And so you can measure it out however you're most comfortable. But what I typically do is I pour my paint first so I can see what paint line I'm going to, and then I pour my water. So we're going to start with this one. Now I'm going to be doing a very small table today, therefore I don't need a lot of paint. Obviously you're going to want to mix more according to your project size. So I'm going to put in 2 ounces right now, which is also down on this little 1 marker here of paint. I'm going to go ahead and put that into my cup here. Easy peasy. Okay. Good enough. It doesn't take a lot for a wash. So I am up to the mark 1 here, or 2 ounces. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my water, and I'm going to go ahead and go up to the 2 mark, or 4 ounces. Okay, that is all you need to do to create your washes. Take a paint stir stick and go ahead and stir it up. Now, like I said, today we're working on a very small tabletop, very small project, don't need a lot of product. You will obviously want to mix more if you're working on a larger project. So I'm going to go ahead and do the white. Same exact way. I'm going to go ahead and go to my 2 ounce or 1 mark. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix my water in. Hitting that 2 mark. I'm going to turn my stir stick around, use the other end, and voila, we have our washes. Easy peasy. Now we're going to go ahead on over to the piece, and I'll show you how I put them on. For today's video, I am using my Klingon F50. This is my tried and true brush that I use all the time. You don't have to have a Klingon, but for this technique, I do like to have this size brush, which is a 2-inch, and I do like this style, so works really well. Now, this is a really super easy and quick process. You don't layer these together. You're gonna put you don't blend these together. You're gonna put one on, let it dry, go back and do your other one. I typically start with my darker wash. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our Algonquin wash. And literally all I'm doing is dipping my brush in and then kind of just letting the excess run off. And I'm going from start to finish, end to end on the piece, getting all of it covered. I don't do any wiping back until I get to the very end. Now on this piece here, you can probably see a little bit of the edge, but I did go ahead and sand. It was kind of a weird edge, so I did sand a little bit underneath, so I will have to be taking my paint down under here as well. This is a really cool, popular look. It creates, I kind of say, oh, it's like staining with paint, because it's still allowing you to see the beautiful wood grain. Now, I didn't forget to mention, you guys, this is a raw piece of pine, and it is imperative for this look that you're gonna want to sand your pieces down to bare wood. Okay, you don't want to try doing this on top of an existing finish that has any kind of manufactured finish on it, stain, or top coat. It works best if you go ahead and apply this directly to bare wood. Now this dries up pretty quickly because we're just using a very watered down paint. So I usually wait about 30 minutes. You can literally see when it's dry, and I come back and do my white. So this is the first layer here of Algonquin. We'll go ahead and let this dry, and we'll come back in about 30 minutes. So it's been about 30 minutes and we're dry and we're ready for our whitewash now. And as you can see, it creates a really beautiful look with that deep taupe brown color, and it still allows us to see the beautiful wood grain. So I rinse my brush. Of course, I start with a clean brush to do our white, and I do basically the same thing. I just kind of let it drip off of the brush, and then I apply, and I'm going to white back. Now I didn't mention what I white back with are the white rags, professional white rags in a box, and you can use whatever works for you. I just really like those because they're lint free and they don't, they just are easy. They absorb what I want them to. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're going to apply our white. And here's the thing with this look. You can apply as many layers as you please. Just depends on the look that you're going for, how light you want it. If you want to apply more of the darker color, less of the darker color, it's all up to you. What I typically do is I apply one of each, stand back, I look at my piece and decide if I'm happy with that or I want to keep going and add more color. So it's going to just depend on the look you're trying to achieve, but I've done sometimes as much as 3 coats of each, and sometimes I've done as much as 1. It also depends on the wood that you're working with as well, because all wood species take things differently. So, all right, we've got our white on. Now, if you're wondering how long do I need to wait before I wipe it back, I wipe it back pretty much immediately. Right now I'm talking to you guys, so I am waiting a little bit in between. But you don't want to wait too long because you don't want this to set up and have it be hard to wipe back. So now we're gonna go ahead. I just go with the direction of the wood grain and I wipe it back. That is it, you guys. It is that simple. Now you can see our white is starting to take over more. So now if I want to keep going, I can go ahead and try adding some of my Algonquin mix back into it. Again, just depends on the look. I think I am going to go ahead and apply one more of each. Again, each wood species will take differently, and some require more or less than others. Here is the end result here. I went ahead off camera and applied one more, literally doing the exact same process I showed you, applying the first coat of each. So I went with 2 coats. Now this will have to be top coated. You can use top coat of your choice. What I'm gonna do is use my same top coat I use for every single thing in the shop, and that is General Finishes High Performance Top Coat in satin. But you definitely want to top coat this to give it that durability. Just putting those washes on isn't going to protect your wood. Guys, that is it. How easy is that? And the fact that you don't need a ton of product or supplies is even better, right? So you just need your paint color choices. I typically, like I said, go with one that's a little bit darker, and then I go with a white, a version of white. Now you don't have to do bright white. I did a creamy white. You can choose whichever color scheme you want and still get a beautiful result. I switch it up all the time. It just so happens those are 2 colors that I use frequently and I had on hand, so I used those. Anyway, it can also be a little bit of a messy type of technique because we've got a lot of water going on, so I would suggest not doing this in your house, and if you do, just make sure you put a drop cloth down. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for being a part of my YouTube community. If you are not, make sure you subscribe so you can be. That helps support my channel, and it allows you to get all of my latest videos. I always like to mention in my videos, if this was not enough information for you and you want more detailed instruction, I teach virtual and in-person one-on-ones, if you're local to me, in 30 and 60-minute increments. They are super great. They are geared to whatever you want to learn, and if you're interested in that, I'm going to go ahead and put my website information here as well as in the show notes. I'll link it there. Thank you so much for watching today. If you have any positive comments, positive only, please, and questions, I will definitely get back to you. I love engaging with you guys, and I always answer all your questions. And I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.